Thank you for watching Scary Bear Attacks. If you like this episode, please remember to hit the like button and leave a comment or two, then subscribe and click on the bell to receive notifications of whenever we release new videos. Also, please remember to share them to your social media.
Welcome back to Scary Bear Attacks. Today's episode takes us to Montana and the Stillwater River near a town called Beehive. The town and a portion of the river run through Stillwater County, and the river eventually flows into the Yellowstone River. Over its 70 miles, the Stillwater offers fishermen some of the best spots to fish for rainbow, brown, cutthroat, and brook trout. The climate is a semi-arid climate with little rainfall and hot, dry summers, and winters are cold and snowy. The elevation at the river is around 4,600 feet, but the surrounding mountains jut to just below 7,000 feet high. You'll see plenty of game on the mountains in this area, including moose, elk, white-tailed deer, and pronghorn antelope. The predators here include bobcats, coyotes, cougars, grizzly bears, and black bears. The summer of 2024 has been a difficult one in regard to black bears and grizzly bears in Montana. At a campground just south of Red Lodge, a 3-year-old girl was attacked by a young sow black bear as she slept in her tent. There were some mitigating circumstances surrounding this incident due to the family keeping food in the tent and at their campsite. That sow black bear was tracked down and killed after the incident, and we discussed it in an episode last week. In late July, the interagency grizzly bear study team had trapped a problem grizzly near Yellowstone River 3 times. The bear showed a lack of fear of human beings, and its behavior forced the wildlife officers to kill it before anything bad could happen. Near the town of Ovando, ranchers had been suffering at the paws of a cow-snatching grizzly bear in the upper Blackfoot Valley. By mid-August, the bear had killed and eaten 1 calf one night, then killed 3 more over the next 5 days. Wildlife officers set out cameras over some of the carcasses and waited for the bear to return to feed. On August 13th, that hungry grizzly was shot and killed as it returned to one of the calf's carcasses. It is hard to fault the bears, though, as they are in a race against the seasons to fatten up. In their quest to put on fat, bears require about 30,000 calories every day, or they risk not having enough fat to make it through hibernation, birth their cubs, or defend their territory. In order to understand just how a bear's food options change by the season, I'll explain what's available to them through each one. In spring, bears have the least food options available to them, and can be found near winter-killed bison and elk carcasses, scavenging from their bones. Mushrooms are available as well as strawberries and grasses, but insects, nuts, and most berries are not. As summer develops, blackberries and raspberries are a few common berry bushes that provide nourishment for bears. Soon after, huckleberries and blueberries ripen up near mid to late summer, and elderberry and chokecherries are the latest berries that bears can feed upon. Chokecherries offer 135 calories of sugar and nutrients per mouthful to bears, so they're important to them. Through the entire spring, summer, and fall seasons, bears are always opportunistic and ready to prey on deer, elk, and moose when given a chance. On the afternoon of Wednesday, August 21st, 2024, a fisherman, whom we'll refer to as Steve, had set out to drown some flies on Stillwater River and invest time in some peace of mind. Along the Stillwater are stretches of fast water, and these Class 2 and Class 3 rapids create a peaceful but prominent sound that drowns out a lot of background noise. Fishing above or below these rapids is often a great place to catch fish, so Steve headed there with a smile. As Steve approached the promising bend in the river, he walked right through a good-sized patch of ripened chokecherries. He wasn't after the shiny purple fruit, though. He was after the shiny silver fish, so the berry patch went unheeded by him. Fishing from the bank, Steve was mesmerized by the sun glinting off the water as he cast his line into promising hole after promising hole. He likely didn't care if he caught his limit of fish, and would probably release them anyway. He enjoyed his time in the wild, along the river. Steve's line suddenly went tense as he hooked a trout. It felt like a good one. He reeled and lifted up his pole, carefully trying to coax the fish toward the bank without losing it. Steve struggled with the fish for only a few seconds when a black bear suddenly appeared beside him. If a bear's face relayed its thoughts, it's likely Steve could see the surprise in its eyes from running into him. Steve was just as flummoxed by the sight of the bear, but was still trying to subdue his catch. The black bear peered at Steve for a few seconds before leaping toward him. It stretched out its paws and bear-slapped him right across his face, leaving scratches where its claws had raked his flesh. Now in a quandary between choosing to catch the fish or fight the bear, Steve watched as the bear dashed back into the brush. His choice was made for him, helping him focus on landing his fish. Now Steve isn't your normal city slicker. He wasn't about to let a miffed black bear ruin his day on the river. Instead of seeking out medical help, he simply called in the incident so others would know what happened. He declined any medical help, and his injuries were considered non-life-threatening. Wildlife officers got wind of Steve's bear slap and wanted to chat with him. After hearing his side of things, they decided the bear's behavior was likely defensive. They somehow determined that the bear was startled by Steve's appearance along the riverbank. They decided that Steve had likely scared this bear enough, and that no further action needed to be taken against it. The chokecherry patch was a likely feeding spot, as there was no mention of an animal carcass cached nearby, nor were there cubs spotted at the time of the incident. Speaking of cubs, our Cub Tier membership on Patreon, linked below, will give you ad-free early access to our episodes. And the $3 per month goes a long way in helping me continue to produce educational and entertaining content like this. Black bears can be found over the entire state of Montana, from the slopes of the western portion of the state to the grassy, dry eastern plains. Black bears frequent riparian zones along rivers and streams, as well as sagebrush hills. If you decide to visit, make sure to invest in bear spray, and maybe a firearm as well, just to be safe. After reviewing the facts around this episode, I'm left with a few questions for you. Do you think the bear heard the splashing of the fish Steve caught and was attracted by the sound? Was this bear defending his berry patch from a human interloper? How could the wildlife officers claim the bear was surprised, given it had to have walked up to Steve, since he was fishing and not hiking? I will gladly read and reply to your thoughts, so please post them in the comments section below, and let's talk about it.
Thank you for watching Scary Bear Attacks. If you've enjoyed this episode, please consider clicking on the like button and clicking on the bell icon. We'll help you know when we post our new episodes. Posting our video links to your social media profiles furthers awareness, and it's fun. We've slashed our prices in our merch store, linked below, so check out the bargains there while you shop. As a member of our human community, remember to adventure bravely and be careful out there, especially in bear country.